Afternoon, good morning, whenever you are watching this video. You know who I am, the DOUG here for not one, not two, but three fighting video game reviews from Sega's past. They were just released on the PlayStation Store and the Xbox 360 Store a few days ago. Depending what country you live in North America, PlayStation got it yesterday, I believe Xbox got it today. And I know some other places get it early as well. Some. But, what are they? Well, if you saw in the little description, it is Virtua Fighter 2. Sonic the Fighters and Fighting Vipers. Let's start with Virtua Fighter 2. This is the remake of the original Virtua Fighter. It was first seen November 1994 in arcades. It did get a release on the Saturn in North America, December 1st, 1995. It also got released on the Mega Drive and Genesis, Windows 95, PlayStation 2, but only in Japan did it get released on the PlayStation 2. And, of course, it just hit PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 store. Now, it did have an update. It does have 2.0 and 2.1. There were two new characters introduced. Excuse me, besides the original list. One, which I cannot fucking stand, Lion, as far as I'm concerned, can drop dead, to be perfectly honest. I don't like him, never have, never will. The other guy's an old drunk, who uses drunken kung fu. He's cool. But as far as for Lion, he can go to hell. Moving on from the characters. It still holds up the test of time, still a fun game. If you love the Virtua Fighter franchise, you will love this. Kind of makes you remember the days when it wasn't all about graphics, it was about gameplay and how you enjoyed it, which I think a lot of times nowadays we're spoiled because we want great graphics, we want to give up good gameplay and good story for it. You know, granted, Virtua Fighter's never really had a story. It's pretty much a straight up beat the living hell out of your opponent either by knocking him out of the ring or KOing his ass. As far as for the trophies, really easy trophies. You should really be able to get these very quickly. I mean, you shouldn't have a problem. You know, we're going to be talking about one in a minute that is a problem. So, my final vote on Virtua Fighter 2, we're going to save that for the end of the video. Excuse me. Went brain dead for a minute. Next game. We are heading towards a little unknown fighting game, Fighting Vipers. Which was technically supposed to be released in the arcade. I don't know if it ever was. So if it was, I'm sure somebody will charge me on that. But it was released on the Sega Saturn, and it also did get released on the PlayStation 3. Yeah, I already said that. This was pretty much, how can I say this? Kind of think Tekken meets Soul Calibur in a way. I mean, I'm kidding. It's really hard to see what this game really resembles. I mean, believe it or not, this series did have a lot of made. Believe it or not, it actually did have a sequel, which I'm sure surprises everybody. It was a Fighting Vipers 2, but that's neither here nor there. As far as for this one, the original one, you know, you pretty much had 9 characters. You had Grace, who was the sex symbol. Bane, who was a 17-year-old who looks like a freaking cowboy. Raxler, who thought he was a member of Guns N' Roses. 16-year-old pretty boy who looks like he needs his ass kicked. A fat-ass, Oriental-looking man, Sandman. Jane, who is a butch and muscular 18-year-old part-time construction worker. So you know what that means. Excuse me. Fuck my throat. I'm not even going to sing the song because I think everybody knows what I was going to go with that. If you did it, I just got one thing to say. She's a maniac for sure. Yeah, and I feel like I just made people cry. Honey, Picky, a 14-year-old skateboarder. Marla, which was a secret character, but was unlockable in the Sega port. There was an arcade version, but like I said, I don't know if it hit America. That's why I can't technically say there was an arcade version. If there was, correct me. He's okay to play with. I'd really, just to be honest, if you're going for trophies on this one, stay with Grace and Bane, most likely. Those are the two at least my two favorite characters. BM was the boss. He was a powered up version of Marla. So that's either near or no there. There was an unlockable character that was a teddy bear. I don't remember that. Pepsi Man, who is the mascot of Pepsi, but it was only in Japan. He was not available in the US in PAL release, which is kind of terrible. And you also got to play as Sonic and Miles Tears Power, but only through a code, only playable through hacking. Now this game is okay. It's one of those forgotten fighting games from the past that I don't think gets enough respect. It is a good game. It is a good game, don't get me wrong. But it's the trophies that bother me on this one. Really, to be honest, the only ones where you will have a problem is Perfect, which you can actually cheat. I'm going to tell you how to do that. You get two controllers. You play one, you go straight to arcade mode. Right when the first match starts, you hit stop button on the second controller. Bam. Pick anybody you hate in the game, beat the shit out of them, you'll get the trophy, because that's what I did. Little good cheat there. So that takes care of that. But the other one is Who Needs Armor / Skirts Destroy. You can get both of them at once if you want. Pretty much with Skirt Destroy, you have to win as Candy unequip armor each arcade stage or break her lower armor after 10 straight wins and offline. You have to win with her 10 times. After the 10th win, your opponent must knock the armor off. But this is when the Who Needs Armor comes into play. You have to put in the code so quick, you have to be Speedy Gonzales or the Flash to break it, which is a problem. Okay, because I just spent about a good 20 minutes doing it, didn't even come close. Other than that, the trophies are relatively easy. I'll give my review of the final score of the game and the trophies in a minute. But let's go to the last one, which is my favorite of them all, so that should tell you what the score should be. Sonic the Fighters, which was pretty much a Sonic fighting game. It was released in the arcades back in May 1996, and I do remember it being an arcade because I played it at MagFest this year, so I know it was in arcades. It was also on the PlayStation 2 and GameCube as Sonic's Gems Collection, which came out in 2005, but North America only got it on the GameCube, and like I said, it just came out on PSN. Now this is pretty much a fighting game. You pretty much had, of course, besides Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy, you also had Espero the Chameleon, Fang the Sniper, Bean the Dynamite, aka the Duck, Bark the Bowler Bear, Metal Sonic, which was the first boss, Dino Robotnik, which was the second boss, and Honey the Cat, which is supposedly based on Honey from Fighting Vipers. Yippee for that. And she's actually available in the arcade port. So is Dino Robotnik, but I do not know how to unlock him yet, and he's not available, and there's no trophy for it. So, on that. Now, believe it or not, one of these characters would still stay in the realm of the Sonic universe as far as I know of, which is Espero the Chameleon. He would have a few other games. Now, unfortunately, as for the other ones, I really don't know if they've been in any other games. If they have, it's a surprise to me. And I do mean that, to be honest. It is a surprise to me. So if somebody can correct me on that, if you can, great. If they've been in other games, let me know. Because I'm looking at Wikipedia right now. God, I hate looking at them half the time. But unfortunately, there's really no characters of them in Wikipedia, so I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. As far as for the Duck, he does have his own game, but it never came to America as far as I know of. Now, as far as for the trophies for this game, they are probably the easiest out of them all, and you should earn them in about 20 minutes, which is a good thing, because you're going to be spending most of your time on the Fighting Vipers if you get all 30. Really not a hard trophy set for these. I mean, God, these have the easiest ones in the game. But, like I said, I love Sonic the Fighters. I replayed that when I was at MagFest earlier this year. Loved it, because I had played it as a kid before, and it was one of my favorite, believe it or not, Sonic games that I don't think gets respected by a lot of people because most people don't expect Sonic the Hedgehog to be in a fighting game. But then again, he was in Super Smash Bros. And he's got 2 kart racing games, which are both highly fun, by the way. I'd recommend you try both of them. You will see the Sonic and Sega Transform review down the road, unless of course the zombie apocalypse hits first. So, what are my reviews of all 3? Well, let's start with Virtua Fighter 2 then. So as for the trophy score, I give it a 1 out of 5 difficulty. You should probably easily knock these out. As far as for the whole game in general, I give it a 4 out of 5. Took me back to the old days, maybe the nostalgia, maybe gave it a 4 out of 5. I can't say. But it's very fun. You will love it, and if you love Virtua Fighter, definitely pick up. By the way, all of these games, all 3, are $5. You can't beat that at all. $5 for each one, that's $15. Boom, you'll have fun. Now, as far as for Fighting Vipers, the trophy list gets a 2 out of 5 difficult just because of the perfect one before I told you this, that cheat, no, trick. But it's the Who Needs Armor and the Skirt Destroyer that really messes the game up, and I think are the hardest ones in the game. You will have a lot of problems doing that one, because you got to pretty much be freaking Flash, like I said, to get that one. So if you get it, A, congratulations. If you don't, you're like me. So technically that's the one I'm missing 100% on, but I'm going to try to nail it later this week or next week. And then as far as for Sonic the Fighters, by the way, I give Fighting Vipers, before I forget, a 3 out of 5 on gameplay. It doesn't hold the test of time as too good as the other ones. And, it's still fun, but only the real hardcore fighting fans will enjoy this one the most. And then Sonic the Fighters, which is what we're going to talk about now. Trophy ones. Like I said, this one is the same as Virtua Fighter 2. The trophy list is a 1 out of 5 difficult. You can get them like that, alright? If you have trouble getting these trophies, you suck as a video gamer, and you need to look yourself in the face and say, oh my god, I suck. Alright? So as for the game in general, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. It is one of my favorite Sonic games, like I've said. I plan on, hopefully, if it's at this year's MagFest, I'm going to be spending a lot of time on that, like I did this last one. And I'm probably going to be one of the games that stay on my system. It's one of my favorite games, so this one, if you want to face me online on any of these 3, your best bet is Sonic the Fighters and buy it. Virtua Fighter 2, most likely known Fighting Vipers, no. No. Because I don't see a lot of people buying that one. So, at the end of the day, I recommend you should buy all 3, at least just to pay homage to them. But if you're only going to can afford one, I'd recommend Sonic the Fighters. That is my review for the night, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you later this week, because I do have one more video, and it is a newer game, believe it or not, something that not from the past, but is from this year. WWE 13 is my next review. Anyone who knows me knows I do wrestling pay-per-view picks. So all I gotta say is, you may want to watch, because you may be surprised at what I think of it. So until then, this is the DOUG signing out, saying good night and Godspeed, my friends.